Now we'll be discussing the concepts, notions about Unit 1 in AP Psychology, which is biological basis of behavior. Now this unit actually explores the relationship between psychology when it comes to behavior, thought, and emotions, the relationship between psychology and our biological structure. So the way we think, how the brain processes such way of thinking, the feeling of emotions. Okay, what about the transmission of sensory details or motor skills and so forth? So all of this will be our topics in this unit. So let's get started from the basic, talking about neurons and behavior. So we'll be talking about two different disciplines here. The first one is neuroanatomy, and the second one is neurophysiology. So neuroanatomy refers to studying the structure of a neuron. So anatomy, the structure. Physiology, function. Neurophysiology refers to studying the function of neurons. So we're talking about neurons. What do we mean by neurons? Neurons are individual nerve cells that these cells make up your nervous system. Every neuron is made up of discrete parts or different parts. The brain is composed of neurons. So neurons are based, or let's say they're composed of nerve cells that make up our nervous system. And of course, the brain is composed of neurons. This is the connection. For example, we have here the primary motor cortex, okay, that sends impulses to the spinal cord in order which here we have the one type of neuron, and we have here the interneuron that connects this part that comes from the brain to that part that will go to the muscle. So these kind of impulses, they are moving from the cortex in our brain. Here, it will be processed here in the spinal cord and then moves to our muscle to have a voluntary or involuntary movement. Of course, we'll be dealing with that. We'll be talking about that in details later on. Neurons communicate. How do they communicate? What are the parts of a neuron? This is the anatomy, the structure. So we have like tentacles here, okay? And we have here the nucleus. We have a branch. Let me just give you like an analogy. And then we have another branching at the very end to reach out to different cells or to different neurons, nerve cells and so forth to transfer and transmit the impulses. This is the analogy. Let's move to reality now. Dendrites, as you can see, we call them dendrites, okay? The one that is branching. Root